Hi there, and welcome to Flow and Zen Yoga. And today we have a nice 15-minute practice to be taken after work or after a long, busy day if you're feeling a bit tired and fatigued, and just to relax the muscles, the body, and the mind and get you settled in before finishing up your day. So we're just going to start off in our child's pose. So just starting with the knees nice and wide in line with the long edges of your mat, bringing the big toes to touch and sinking the hips down towards the heels and just extending those arms out long in front and then just letting that forehead just rest softly on the mat beneath you. So just finding some length through the spine and taking some nice long inhales and slow exhales. And just releasing any tension in the face muscles or the shoulders, the neck. And just allowing yourself to become present on your mat, letting go of everything that happened today and letting go of any to-do lists you have for later on. Just becoming one with the present moment. Nice. One more inhale here. Then on the next exhale, let's start by releasing the forehead from the mat, and we'll start to walk the hands in towards the body, starting to prop ourselves upright. And we're just going to transition into tabletop position. So just bringing the knees inwards and just having them stacked above, having the hips stacked above the knees and having the fingers spread nice and wide and just gently gripping the mat with the fingertips and with the shoulders stacking above the wrists. And we'll start by drawing a figure of eight with the body. So we'll just start by shifting the weight past the wrists. So taking those shoulders past the wrists at the top. Then on the exhale, we'll start to draw a figure of eight by taking the hips down towards the heels and just moving your figure of eight, just going in one direction. Just moving at a nice, natural pace for you. Nice. Now we're going to switch directions. So same figure of eight, just going in the opposite direction now. Beautiful. And from here, just going to come back into neutral tabletop position. We're going to come into thread the needle now. So on the next inhale, we're going to start by picking up the right hand towards the sky as we open the chest to the side, reaching up. Then on the exhale, we'll thread that arm under. So just lowering that arm and shoulder all the way down onto the mat. And with the left hand, you can extend it out long in front to the top edge of your mat, or you can take it for the bind by taking that hand towards the opposite hip crease and just rolling that top shoulder back, maybe taking the gaze up. Nice. One more inhale here. Then on the next exhale, if you have the bind, just releasing that hand, placing it back underneath that left shoulder, pressing back to tabletop position. Switching sides now. On the inhale, we're going to reach those left fingertips towards the sky, gazing up. And then exhale, we'll thread that arm under again, so lowering it all the way down onto the earth. Maybe we can extend that right hand out to the top edge of your mat. Or if you had the bind last time, you can take it again with a bind on the second side. Just feeling that nice shoulder stretch. One more inhale here. And then exhale. We're going to take that right hand and place it underneath that right shoulder. And then on the exhale, press back up to your tabletop position. Then from here, we're just going to walk the hands a few inches forward, start to tuck the toes of both feet. Then on the inhale, we're going to reach the hips up and back as we extend from the knees, pressing straight into our downward facing dog or inverted V shape. Awesome. So pressing that tailbone nice and high here, pressing the mat away. And on the next inhale, we're going to start by picking up the left foot. What we're going to do is we're going to take it behind the right foot. So just taking that left foot to the back right corner of your mat. Then on the exhale, we're going to start by sinking the heels of both feet here. So just feeling a calf stretch and maybe even an IT band stretch on that left side. Nice. We'll just stay here just for a couple more breaths. One more breath here. Then on the next exhale, we'll place that left foot back down to its original place, returning back to downward facing dog. And then we'll switch sides now. So this time we're going to pick up that right foot and take it behind the left. So just placing it on the outside of that left foot to the back left corner of the mat. Then on the exhale, we'll start to draw the heels closer to the earth. So maybe feeling a calf stretch here, maybe an IT band stretch on the right leg. Beautiful. One more inhale here. And then exhale, place that foot back to its original position, coming straight back into downward facing dog. Nice. Now from here, we're going to take the gaze in between the hands at the top of the mat. Then from here, we'll start to shift the weight forward. And then as we do so, start to gently drop the knees down and untuck the toes. And then we're going to start to take that right foot outside of that right hand. And then from here, we're just going to start by opening that right hip out to the side and even taking those right toes and starting to point them out to the side. So have that heel facing in. So that foot's at a 45-degree angle. So just coming into our lizard pose now. So you have the option of staying upright on your hands if you like, or if you want to go deeper with your lizard, you can come down onto the forearms like so, or you can even take that right hand and just gently press it away from the body. So just listening to your body here, whichever option works for you, and just working with your range of mobility and flexibility, and just feeling that nice hip opener. Nice. One more inhale here. Then on the exhale, we're going to release our lizard pose by just heel toeing that right foot back into center. And then from here, we're going to come into half splits. So we'll start by heel toeing that right foot to the top edge of your mat. And then coming up onto that right heel, maybe flexing that right foot. And just looking back towards your left hip and just making sure your left hip is still stacked above that left knee. And with that front knee, doesn't have to be locked out or completely straight. You can keep a slight micro bend into that knee. And then once you find a nice length along the back of your leg, Start to gently fold over that front thigh, just getting a little closer to the leg until you feel a nice stretch along the hamstring. Nice. We'll stay here for one more breath. And exhale. Wonderful. From here, let's start to gently lift the torso and start to bend back into that front knee. Sort of stacking that right knee above the right ankle, framing that front foot with the hands. Then we'll tuck the back toe and then lift that back knee off the mat. So just coming into our low lunge or runner's lunge. So keeping the chest nice and proud, maybe even coming onto the fingertips, making tense with your fingertips, gazing forward. Inhale here, then exhale, planting the hands down. And with control, we're going to pick up that right foot and take it, shoot it back to meet the left, transitioning straight back into our downward facing dog. Awesome, guys. And from here, we're going to switch sides. So now shifting the weight forward, dropping both knees down again. And then now picking up that left foot, taking it wide for our lizard on the second side. So have those left toes pointing out to the side as you open out that right hip. Now we can stay upright on the hands as if you were up on the hands last time, or you can come down onto your forearms, or you can also gently take that left hand and gently press that left knee away even further to deepen into the pose. Staying here for one more breath. Inhale. Then on the exhale, we're going to release that hand from the knee if you have it there, or if you're down on your forearms, coming back upright onto the hands, heel toeing that left foot back in towards center. Then exhale, heel toeing that foot to the top edge of your mat, shifting the weight back as we set up for half splits on the second side. So just making sure your right hip is stacked above the right knee here. Just adjust and position yourself accordingly. And then once you've found that length along the back of that left leg, starting to slowly fold closer to deepen into the split. Staying here for one more breath. And on the next exhale, starting to bend back into that front knee. So just shifting the weight forward. Left knee stacks above the left ankle. And then we'll tuck the back toes and then lift that back knee off the mat. So we'll spend a moment in our low lunge or runner's lunge. So inhale, taking the gaze forward, back leg long. And then on the exhale, planting those palms down as you gently, with control, pick up that left foot and shoot it back to meet the right, transitioning straight back into our downward facing dog. Nice. Taking an inhale here. And then exhale with control. We're going to come down onto the knees and then just coming now into a cross-legged, easy seated position onto your mat. Awesome. Now from here, we're going to come into Gomukhasana. So we're just going to come in and use our arms for this one. So we're going to be utilizing the shoulder muscles. So on the next inhale, we're going to circle sweep the arms up towards the sky, maybe bringing palms to meet. And then on the exhale, we're going to bend into that left elbow and gently place that left hand onto the left shoulder blade. Then on the exhale, we're going to sweep that right hand behind us and see if we can reach for the left hand with the right and just bring the hands together. Now, if you have issues reaching for the hands, that's totally okay. You can leave a little bit of a gap in between the fingertips and just have that right hand just resting just inside of that right shoulder blade and just having the fingertips touching, or just leave a little gap if you can't quite reach the hands. Beautiful. So taking a nice inhale here. And then on the exhale, we're just going to gently hinge forward like so. Nice. One more inhale here. And then exhale, starting to hinge back up with control. And then releasing the hands if you have them together. And just bringing the hands onto the knees as we switch sides now. So again, inhale, circle sweep those arms up towards the sky, bringing palms to meet. And then exhale, this time bending into the right elbow. So reaching for that right shoulder blade. Then we're going to sweep that left hand behind us. And then again, reaching for those hands. Or if not, just placing the palm just onto inside of the shoulder blade or our fingertips touching. So keeping that right elbow nice and high. Inhale here. And then exhale with control. We're going to hinge forward like so. So keeping those hands clasped together if you have them there, or keeping hands placed on the shoulder blades or just inside. One more inhale here. Then exhale with control, starting to hinge back up. Then exhale, releasing the hands like so, then bringing them to rest onto the knees. And we're just going to finish with a seated cat and cow. So on the inhale, start to round through the spine as we draw the chin towards the chest. So just gently shifting the weight back, coming into seated cat. And then on the exhale, we're going to drive the chest forward as we arch through the spine, lifting the gaze up, coming into seated cow. Nice. Then inhale, start to shift the weight back as the chest, sorry, as the chin starts to meet the chest, coming back to cat. And then exhale, starting to pull yourself forward as you draw shoulder blades in, taking gaze up, coming back to seated cow. Nice. Then one last time. Inhale, shift the weight back, rounding through the spine for cat. Then exhale, start to shift the weight forward as you take the gaze up towards the sky. Then exhale, return back to neutral cross-legged seat, letting the shoulders relax. Beautiful. We'll close out our practice by circle sweeping the arms up towards the sky, maybe interlacing the fingers. And then from here, we're just going to flip the palms. So just pressing those palms nice and high up towards the sky. Beautiful. One more inhale here. And exhale. We're going to bring the palms together now and then start to draw the hands towards heart center, taking those thumbs to your heart center. Then exhale, release the hands by your side. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out for yourself today and just listening to your body. And hopefully, this practice helped you calm yourself down, relax your muscles further after a long day at work or just a long day on your feet. And have a wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you on the next class. Peace. Namaste.